Breaking right now, Tim Burchett, representative from the great state of Tennessee, puts his hat in for the chairman of the DOGE Subcommittee. Will he be successful? Let's hear from Tim.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett, just leaving Oversight Committee. I'd give those Democrats, they always have a good meal in there. Why don't we ever have a good meal? Anyway, I have officially put my name in to chair the DOGE committee. Marjorie is leaving Congress, and that'll leave the committee wide open. I sure would love an opportunity, and I know cards are stacked against me. I don't do a lot to endear myself to the leadership, but frankly, they don't do a lot to endear themselves to me. So, and y'all know how this game works. You got to raise a lot of money and kiss a lot of butt. I don't do a good job at either one of those. So, but anyway, I sure would like an opportunity to do that. I think I got the backbone and I guess the guts to go after this spending, and I think I know where a lot of it's hidden. And honestly, I proposed some dadgum legislation to do it, and I would get with folks like y'all out there on social media, put some pressure on some of these gutless legislators to pass some of this stuff. So anyway, we'll keep on fighting. Thank y'all for sitting there.
I'll tell you what, Burchett is one of the few America First congressmen that has consistently fought against the deep state. This is something that we're looking for as far as some hope amongst the representatives. As we all know, Mike Johnson and the rest of the RINOs have completely let us down with the America First movement. But Burchett brings up a really important point, right? DOGE was originated, as you recall, by Vivek and Elon. Elon was the one that drove it forward, along with his lieutenant, Big Balls, and both of which have since left. Now, with Marjorie Taylor Greene's departure being announced just before Thanksgiving, there's a seat on the DOGE subcommittee. So Burchett would be exactly the type of person that we in America First land would want to see on that committee, and certainly leading the charge. The question really is, and he gets at it, are they going to be, are we, as the grassroots in social media, going to be successful along with him in getting some pressure on the powers that be? That's to be decided, and I think that's something that we all should take seriously. I'm going to give you a summary of some of DOGE's successes here at the end of this clip, and you're going to see that there's no doubt that it lived up to the hype, that it did exactly what it was designed to do. But as you see here with Tim's announcement, just recently, there was a deep state initiative to put out some fake news, and this coming from Reuters, that DOGE doesn't exist anymore with 8 months left on its original charter, that it was closed down. Well, that's not true. All the sources in that were anonymous, and you can guess where that messaging was coming from, primarily from the progressives on the left. So now let's look at why the progressives on the left are so petrified of DOGE and what they can do. This is straight from the DOGE website, and I would encourage all of you to go to doge.gov/savings. You can see here that to date, they've saved over $214 billion outstanding. They have a charter to target $2 trillion, and they are on their way to doing that because, again, as Reuters was mistakenly reporting, they are not closed. So far, they've saved taxpayers over $1,300 per year per taxpayer. But this is where I want you to get to this website and see just exactly what transparency we're getting. First off, and I went through two of the parts of the website, and I found them particularly transparent and interesting. First, the wall of receipts. This is what they've been targeting, and you can see almost lockstep panic from the deep state when they kind of get on a pet project, but you can see the projects and the success that DOGE has had so far. So again, total savings, this is just as it kind of chronologically has happened, but the total value in this instance for the department or for the wall of receipts, the biggest recipient of the DOGE efforts has been the Department of Defense. You can see here what boom, 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 boom. 12.5 billion has been targeted in savings, which is outstanding. And this is, again, going down in value. You can see here, again, Department of Interior, Department of Homeland Security, etc., and what they were actually targeting and the vendor that was targeted. And again, you can see there is a ton of data that you can manipulate so that, again, in the effort to be transparent, DOGE has done just that. This is where their grants and efforts in targeting grants was or is outlined. And again, you can see exactly all of the pet projects that were targeted by DOGE and when they were targeted. The total value of these grants, you can see again the march on USAID that was taking place, targeting over, in this instance, $2.63 billion. Department of Health and Human Services, again, $1.7 billion. The Texas Department of State Health Services with some of their epidemiology issues or initiatives, rather, $1.5 billion. Again, the grants, you can manipulate the data by date, by total value, and by savings. So it's outstanding, the transparency that we're getting. And then one last thing that I'll leave you with, that the United States government is the largest real estate holder within the country. And you can see that DOGE is trying to offload and get some of their leases broken and real estate sold. And again, you can see not only by date what they're up to, but you could also see here, let's kind of sort this. So just as recently as mid-January, they were offloading some State Department locations, a lease here in Miami and Cincinnati and Charlottesville, Virginia, with total savings here with some of these projects. Again, quite significant. $4.5, almost $5 million worth of value that we got from just terminating some lease. And we all know, right, with the COVID lockdowns and the return to work initiatives, that the government employees were less than interested in coming back to work. So DOGE itself has lived up to its charter. I would argue we should continue this after its 8-month expiration. And I think we also need to take seriously people like Tim Burchett from Tennessee in trying to get the right people to lead this committee in Elon's departure. Do you agree? Things like initiatives like this align with America First in allowing us to target our debt. As we all would know and agree, we have a spending problem in Washington, D.C., and DOGE's initiative to take care of that spending and target it with the pet projects of the deep state and the RINO conservatives, as well as the left and their pet projects. It's critical that we do this. We don't have a revenue problem with taxes. We have a spending problem. If you've yet done so, please take a moment to subscribe over here. You can see it right here to America First Alerts. We'd love to have you along for the news. We also have some suggestions for a few videos that you may like. Believe me, the YouTube algorithm's doing everything they can to suppress our voice, so your subscribing and watching our videos goes a long way. We'll see you in the next video.